Before we go on this road, you should know who's helping you and why. My name is Bruce Brown. I was raised on all kinds of traditions that church had to offer. I've either been in or helped out at pretty much every ministry you could think of. For as long as I can remember, I've heard God use people to tell me how different or how set apart I was. But it took years for me to realize what that truly meant. From 18 to 25, I was living life understanding the world beyond being in a church building all the time. I learned during then that when you're around people who don't believe what you practice, it's not your job to convince them, but to present to them what you believe by how you live your faith. But some lines aren't supposed to be crossed in the name of what you believe, unless your faith is at a place where you can handle what operates outside of what you exercise. Here's how that fits into my story. I fell in love with someone who I thought I needed to save because they were going through spiritual things I thought I could face. When I went to see her to try to handle what was going on, I found out she was into black magic. It was then God opened up my eyes to what else was around this world besides His word. To be honest about me back then, the closest I had been to black magic was through television, movies, and books about fantasy. Witches and warlocks were real, and I got a hard lesson in being too gung-ho for God, mixed in with my own desire to be with this woman that bad. After I realized everything I knew to do wasn't working, I felt like me staying any longer would make the situation worse. So I left. But what followed me home were dark spirits that caused me fear and terror. Voices I thought were the voice of God were not. And I listened to them because I was used to hearing one voice, and that voice was Christ. In that process, I was unknowingly twisting the word I once stood on so firmly. I remember no one wanting to be around me during that time because they were either too scared or praying real hard for whatever was on me to go away. Eventually, those spirits went away, but what stayed with me, traumatic mental scars that stuck with me that led to my diagnosis of schizophrenia in 2010. Years passed. I lost touch with a lot of people, and some people decided to lose touch with me because of what I was going through. Happy ending? No. But what I did get was a new beginning. During those years alone, I began to hear God again, clearer than I ever heard Him before. I knew this time it wasn't some voice speaking to me from my mind. From then on, I listened to Christ with undivided attention when I heard Him talk. What I began to see was a trend in the knowledge I was receiving about God and humanity. I understood this wasn't only meant for me, but to spread an appointed time to help lead God's people back to Him. My call is to present to you a different choice when you feel like you have no choice at all. Now that you know how I got here, are you ready to journey with me to New Jerusalem? Got questions? Email me at therealbrucebrown@gmail.com. You could donate to my ministry by going to this link. Or you can donate to my ministry by Cash App at $TheRealBruceBrown. Spread the word, everybody. God is still real.